just come and be my lover. We are ready inevitably seep into each other. The dance of the destined lover. I feel you as we look at one another. We all have all these facets. We all have shame about this or embarrassment about this. And so that's why a lot of my songs are about very like in your face, because I know that at least 10 other people in the room have felt the same thing and they just don't want to say it.
Damn, it is so good to see you. I'm sorry, this table is so big compared to me.
It is so good.
Right.
I feel the same. I'm like...
It would just be the big table talk.
Yeah, that's what you should call the series. Big table
That's
talk.
what Alyjah was saying earlier. First and foremost, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Em. I go by Em the Master professionally. I'm an artist. I'm a musician, an actor, writer, performer. My whole life has been in the arts. I was a classical pianist since I was 3 years old, performing all around England and Europe as a child and living that kind of crazy lifestyle as a kid.
And how long have you been in Los Angeles?
A little over 4 years, and I was in New York before for 2 years.
And how do you feel like these locations have impacted or maybe even set a direction for your work?
Well, when I was in New York, I was studying drama. I was at drama school. Just the theatre scene there alone was so impactful, you know. The same as London, the theatre scene in London is incredible. It just helped me to shift out of that mindset of like, I have to be a certain way to please other people, you know. I feel like being in these places has allowed me to really just, for lack of a better word, not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And just do what I really want to do and say what I really want to say and throw it at the wall, because there is such a freedom of artistic expression, you know, in these cities. And I think it's also about surrounding yourself with the right people, because trust me, everybody wants to give me an opinion.
Yes.
But being able to surround yourself with other artists who stick to their, you know, what they really want to do and say has been great.
As artists, as creative people, opinions can make or break people. What are your thoughts on opinions?
A lot of people, especially when you're sort of almost in a category but you're not, so people look at me, you could be this amazing pop star.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not really trying to be a pop star, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do something a little bit different. But there's definitely been times where people's opinions have really, you know, got to me, because you're never going to make it unless you do this, or you've got to do that, or you've got to do this. And again, sticking to what I really want to say and like my truth and why I'm even doing this, I think is the most important thing. So I think what I've learned to do is listen. I listen to everybody. You know, like if people have opinions, ideas, I'll totally listen to you. But then I've got to check in with myself and maybe some trusted people. I think if you're doing something new and fresh, like I am and like so many artists have done in the past, you've got to have a strong enough belief in what you're doing to trust that opinions will change from, okay, right now everyone in the world likes this kind of music, but I believe that once they hear this, they'll like this. You know, of course people's opinions are important in success because you've got to have a following to an extent, but I believe if you have enough conviction and belief in what you do, people's opinions will follow, hopefully.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then that's up to you to stick with what you love, or to change, or, you know, does the world want to hear, and what's my friend going to think if I do this? Like, just forget it, just do it, you know, because at the end of the day, none of that matters. What matters is you doing what you want to do, expressing yourself, you know. I think trying to create from a perspective of what are they going to want is never going to give you that authentic, you know, connection and voice. We all have a very unique individual voice, and it's really a gift and really an obligation, I think, to share.
It's your job to share.
It really is, because it's like you are the only person with your voice in this planet, like on this planet, and me too, and you too, and you too, and you know, it's really a gift to be able to share that, because you never know who it might touch or affect, you know. So just do it, guys. Just get going. Time's rolling.
Some people create from sadness or from excitement or from anger. Do you feel like you have an emotional center that your work stems from? And what would that be?
Absolutely. All of my early work definitely stemmed from like deep sadness and pain. My first album was actually all about my experience with rain. So it was like super heavy, got a lot of coverage, you know, for that reason, helped a lot of people, like did a lot of outreach with it. So all of my early stuff was heavily about, you know, some of the really dark things I've experienced in my life. But then as I healed and grew, and it's always the emotional sense of whatever emotion it is, that's what I wrote from, you know. But it's just got to be a strong enough feeling, like a strong enough sense of joy or love or pain or anguish or whatever to give me the inspiration to like, I need to write about this, you know.
So the feeling should be strong enough to inspire.
Exactly. I think when I first write a song, I'm not thinking about anybody. I'm not even thinking I'm going to release this. You know what I mean? It actually more comes out of a need. I'm like, I have to write something right now because this feeling is so strong and I have to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of a like, even a coping mechanism sometimes, or my way of just expression and getting through things. And then normally I feel if you, whoever you are, whatever you do, come from a place of real truth and authenticity and expression, people respond to that and they feel it too, you know?
Yeah. Presence, right? You go to your page and you get this sense of like awe and energy, very similar to what I think I felt from your show, at least. But also in social media, there is this sense of shallowness in a lot of cases. Like, as artists, we cannot fully share the spectrum of our creativity online. Is there any part of maybe your life or your creative work that you wish you could share with people that just maybe hasn't come through yet?
It's hard because I think social media is also, it's breeding a generation with a short attention span, which is difficult because I think a lot of artists create things that are meant to be experienced in their entirety, even if it's just a whole song. But if it's like 4 minutes long, a lot of people are not going to watch a 4-minute video on their Instagram. Like they're really not, you know. So I rarely am going to post like an IGTV video that's 5 minutes. I'll just post like a 1-minute clip. So even the simple stuff like that of like, wow, it'd be great if these people could really hear this entire song, but probably not many people are actually going to sit and watch this, you know. And I think also just being able to get people to see all the facets of what you do, because you saw my show, it's crazy, it's this, it's that, but I also have this whole other side, which is, just me and a piano, solo, like I was saying, much more emotional stuff. I do a lot of activism in like sexual abuse and all that stuff. Which I have posted about on social media a ton in the past, you know, but it's always kind of one thing or the other. Like right now, all my social media is like fun and shows and come here and see this. And 6 months ago, it was all like sexual abuse and call this hotline and do this and do that. And like sometimes people get thrown off, it seems, when you want to be more than one thing, but we're all so multifaceted. So I think that's what it is as well, is social media, I think, often wants to pigeonhole, like, you are this brand, you are this artist, and it's like, no, like I have this and I have that and this and that, but there's this narrative that it has to be so consistent for people to follow and be engaged. So I think that, you know, being able to express all the facets of yourself, it would be nice to be able to do that more, you know. But again, I think that just comes down to just doing it and not really caring what people think.
Because it really is chipping down the creative block that is you into something very bite-sized and digestible, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just the state of the thing. I think of platforms like TikTok, where people play 15 seconds of your song millions of times, right, without understanding or hearing the nuance of the full song, right, or even knowing who wrote it.
And even just like music these days is so free. Like Spotify and Apple Music, sure you pay $10 a month or whatever, but we're not getting paid anything. Back in the day, it's like, if you wanted to listen to my music, you could provide the record, and it's going to be $10 or $20, and even that has changed the game of everything. The artists really only make money from touring or merch, you know, which is a totally different game too.
You died tomorrow. What is something you would want people to know about you or feel about you?
I guess I would just want people to know the intention behind what I do, and whether it comes across as crazy or like aggressive or sad or this or that it really was all coming from a place of just deep need, you know, to deal with my own life and deal with my own stuff in the hope that it may be able to help somebody else or touch somebody else or bring someone else joy. Like, I haven't ever written anything to try and be a pop song, to try and be famous, because I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to speak the truth, really. That's my core thing, it's truth. That's my whole mission statement as an artist, that's my my life's like purpose, I think, is speaking the truth. Happy, sad, angry, whatever it is, here it is. Like, take it or leave it, but like, this is my experience as a human being, you know. And the other thing is, a lot of my work is, from my perspective, about releasing shame and embarrassment or any just resistance that we have about ourselves as human beings. Because sometimes I think to myself, you know, we all have all these facets. We all have shame about this or embarrassment about this, but then we do it. We all do all those things, and we all pretend that we don't because we're embarrassed about it or we feel shame. And so that's why a lot of my songs are about, they're really kind of, you know, either explicit or like very like in your face. Like, I don't, like, this is what I have to say, because I know that at least 10 other people in the room have felt the same thing. They just don't want to say it, and I'm there like, not being vulnerable, putting myself out there, like, I felt this, I lived this, and I don't care that you know that I did, because I know there's someone who lived it too, and you don't need to fucking be ashamed about it. You don't need to be embarrassed or ashamed. I've lived it, he's lived it, she's done it, you know what I mean? And like, whether my good and my bad experiences in life, I try and just put them all on the page in the song, so that someone can hear it and just be like, wow, I'm not alone. Really, you know, like, I really want to, I feel like there is so much inherent shame in being a human being, for literally being a human being. Stuff that's just part of human nature that we all have. And I'm just like, you don't need this. Why are we carrying this around, you know? So let me just put all of my shame right in your face.
And you take it and do it the way you will.
Yeah, and hopefully realize that, like, you know, I felt it, and who cares? Yeah. Really, who cares, you know? So that's, the quicker that we accept those parts of ourselves and those moments of our lives, like, we're gonna be a lot happier, you know? So I'm just trying to make that happen for myself and for anyone who wants to listen. Yeah.
Well, that's the last question I had. Em, thank you so much. This was one of my favorite conversations I've had. And the next time we're out here, we'll be watching the Tuesday show.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got this feeling running through my bones. The sky's the limit. The stage is my new home. A pulse is rushing.